All right, Shalom, Akim. Start the lesson. I do want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakodash, the one star apostles and elders of great news, and that taught us his truth. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim to pushing his truth, and all truth and sincerity are on the four corners of the earth in the Jalid to us, Shalom. Okay, my brother Yara Ariel here in the Miami camp. I come back to the spirit power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to make another lesson. Okay, in this lesson, I'll be going into how we are in the fall of Babylon, okay, which is America, all right. It's lucky. We are in the fall of, a kingdom, which is America, man. Okay, here it is. People are noticing, the downfall of this place, and they are seeing how, America is not so great as it used to be. Okay, and these are the signs of a fallen kingdom, man. Right now, they trying to get in the spirit of trying to rebuild this place and trying to make this thing great again. Okay, which was never great. Okay, but now they in the spirit of trying to bring back that American spirit, and it's not gonna come back, man. Okay, Babylon has had its time to be a global superpower. Okay, feared among the earth, and now things are changing, man. Okay, but this is just a screenshot from a post I saw, on Instagram. It says $100,000 salary in January 2020 has the same buying power as $124,353 in April 2025, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The dollar lost value in 25% value in 5 years, showing you the depreciation of the dollar, and only reason because the dollar is not backed by anything. Okay, the dollar itself is fiat currency, man. This dollar, the dollar used to be backed by gold, but now it's not even being backed by gold anymore. Okay, this is this is something that they print, and they print while you in debt. What does that do? That constantly drops the value of that currency. Okay, if you already in debt and you just printing more money into the system, okay, to make something valuable, it has to be scarce. All right, if there's less. All right, if there's less gold around, which there is, okay, that makes the value of it more, more pricey. Okay, but if you can just create gold, then gold will itself lose its value. Okay, the same thing with the dollar. All right, if you are printing so much, eventually, you printing so much, and it's not really holding its value, man. Okay, when you could just print it out of thin air, okay, you're not adding no value to the dollar, and that's what's just been destroying the value of the dollar, man, and ultimately the collapse of this kingdom as well, because Babylon is in trillions and billions of debt. Okay, but showing you how we are in the fall of a kingdom because the currency is not in itself powerful anymore. All these other nations are ditching these the dollar and going with their own currency. Okay, showing you the decline of a nation. Okay, even with their military as well. All right, their military is being showing signs of weakness. Okay, this man Joe Biden had a lot of momos joining the army, and it wasn't as how it's supposed to be, and these other nations are watching, man. Okay, but even with this article, man, people are noticing. In the comments, it says, first comment said, I don't like bringing cash no more. If I bring $100, that shit gone in 30 minutes from just gas and some food. Okay, and that's another thing too as well. I forgot to mention that too. They're constantly printing money, and as well as prices are going up. Okay, so back then, when I was a child, I thought $100 was a lot of money, man. Okay, because back then, the dollar had value. Okay, you used to have $100, think you had 1,000, man. Now you get $100, and I feel like $10 due to one, the dollar losing value, and then again, the inflation, man. Okay, now what actually feels like $100 is $1,000, and that's just proving the point of the article that is setting this up, that the dollar has lost its value and 25% lower now, man. Okay, and right under the post it says, "This country is collapsing. Shit is sad for real." So people are noticing the downfall of the nation. Okay, which is America, man. Okay, people are noticing the fall of the country, man. All right, and that is America. All right, starting with its currency, the inflation that they're pushing. Thing costs more, and then the dollar is not holding its value. The dollar is losing value. Of course. Okay, if someone was making $100,000 5 years ago, it doesn't feel the same as now. Okay, and shit, even if they tell you that, they tell you that now, if you want to live comfortably, or you want to have at least some type of amendment, you got to make at least probably $200K, man. Okay, or more, to even afford this society's lifestyle. How they say the American dream, having a house, car, and kids. And just to even live comfortably, you gotta have at least $200,000, man. Okay, and that's on the low side, because $100,000 is not the same anymore, man. All right, and I got a couple precepts, lined up showing you how, this country is falling. Okay, and the scriptures tell us that Babylon, which is America, had its time to rule. Okay, now it's in the time of being destroyed, and now it's falling, man. And it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and has made all the earth drunken. The nation have drunken of her wine, therefore the nation is mad. It's right. And Babylon, which is America, has been a golden cup in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai's hand. Okay. And Babylon, with its influences, okay, go around spreading their wicked philosophies and their doctrines, around, the face of the earth. Done made all these nations take after they same philosophy, democracy, and ideology. And now these other nations are getting mad at America. Okay, for the wickedness that they're trying to spread, man. Shit, there was a time where there was the LGBT, around under Biden. Okay, they was trying to push that shit in Uganda. All right, and Kamala was trying to enforce that shit in Uganda, and then Uganda said that they're not participating in that shit. Okay, and they try to condemn, and Babylon try to condemn that country, man, showing you how wicked Babylon is. Okay, you trying to condemn a country for, because they don't want to allow your wicked, homosexual philosophy in their country, man. Okay, and these nations are angry at that, man. And it says in verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaching to the heavens, and lifted up even to the sky. And that's right. Okay, we are at the fall of Babylon. Okay, Babylon is falling. All right. Where we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Okay, the sins of this place has risen to the heavens. And the Lord did not forget anything, man. All the shit that Babylon has done. Okay, scriptures say that one day to the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. So when you look at it, Lord, the Lord looking at it like it's just yesterday that Babylon was doing all that wicked shit that that Esau was doing on the face of the earth and to the nation of Israel. All right, and then and then the wickedness that this devil pushes. Okay, their wicked deeds reaching to the heavens, man. That's how sick this place is, and that's why this place has to be destroyed, and that's why as well we are at the downside, the downfall of this kingdom, because we are at the end of this kingdom. All right, and I had another precept to Revelation in 6. Man, that's why we say throughout everybody share that we are part of this truth, man. We have the wisdom and knowledge, that we are woke. Okay, this is Revelation 6 and verse 6, and it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right, this going into how, in the times to come, Jacob's trouble, and these times now, prices are going to increase. Okay, that your day's wage is going to cost your cost of groceries, man. And even in with the text that the DM that we read, the guy speaking about the $100, you just put gas and you buy some food and $100 is gone. Some people make only $100 a day, or even close to like $150 a day. All right, are some people's wages, man. Okay, showing you how things are going to get economically hard for people, and they already are. Okay, and it says, "See thou not hurt not the oil and the wine." Okay, going into the elect. Okay, because the elect are not going to get touched in the times to come, man. Okay, they're going to be found in good case, and the Lord is going to protect them. All right, but that's ultimately showing you too as well. Showing you that if a day's wage costs you, if wheat costs you a day's wage, showing you, you at the end of the kingdom, man. Okay, you are at the downside of the kingdom. If life starts feeling like that, okay, you are at the end. All right, and seeing that the fallen kingdom is going to happen, we are also going to see a destruction as well. Okay, this is Revelation 18, and it says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is her judgment come." And that's right, man. Standing afar off, seeing that the destruction of America, and that the destruction of America is going to be televised. Okay, in 1 hour, the judgment of the Lord is come upon America, man. Okay, and that's only right, man, that this country gets judged for all the wickedness that is done. Okay, and the Lord has not forsook any of these things, man. All right, but they all can. That's the lesson. How the lesson is going to be: Babylon is fallen. Okay, we are at the downside of this country, the fall of this country. Okay, America, the Lord coming back to restore this place and to save the elect. Okay, so Lord was edified with that. I do want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kakadash. That belongs to Apostle Elder Greg Mills, that taught us the truth. Peace and blessing to the sincere arguments. With that, I want to say shalom.